And I think there's a lot of people being critical, considering 99%, in my opinion, of coaches on YouTube have no business being a top coach at all. Today we're going to discuss Jeff Cavaliere from Athlean X and the fake weights controversy. So if you're in any way connected to the fitness industry or interested in the fitness industry, then you'll know that Jeff Cavaliere from Athlean X has been accused of using fake weights. We'll get into all the fine details later in the video, but the first thing I want to touch on is, generally speaking, Jeff gives good advice, and I actually recommend him as a coach. I think he is a good coach, and that's rare because most of these big YouTube channels that have millions and millions, or in Jeff's case tens of millions of subscribers, they give really poor advice, and so they're giving misinformation to the masses of people that are subscribed to their YouTube channel. So for workout tips, hypertrophy and injury prevention, I actually think that Jeff is a great coach. If you're looking to do strength training, things like that, I don't think he's the best coach out there or even close to the best coach. But I think that's the first thing to clear up, is that Jeff can actually teach people how to get in shape. It's funny to me how people are so quick to go after and criticize somebody that makes one mistake. The guy's changed the industry. He's helped millions of people transform their bodies over the last decade. The guy's been putting videos out for 10 years before most people even started making YouTube videos. He was one of the first fitness guys on YouTube, and he's helped a lot of people. My point is, when you make one mistake, all of that 10 years of helping people, helping thousands of people around the world, putting videos out, being honest, having integrity, all goes out the window. You make one mistake and everybody turns on you. And I'm not saying what Jeff did is wrong or right, that's something we're going to talk about in a minute. But what I am saying is, people really should think about what the person has actually done for them and for the industry in general. And I think it's not fair to attack somebody when they've made one mistake. The question is, did Jeff use fake weights? And the answer to the question is, it's very clear, looking at the evidence from some other people's videos, that he definitely did use fake weights. You can see the weights that he's using are the same weights that you can buy on eBay, or if you type in fake weights on Google, it's the first website that comes up that sells fake weights. It's very clear that they're identical to the weights on those websites. So he definitely has used fake weights. The question is why, and that's what we're going to talk about. Everybody thinks they know why, everyone's quick to make these accusations, but the truth is only one person knows why he did it, and that's Jeff himself. And he hasn't actually made any statements on what's happened and what's gone off. He stayed quiet about it. My thoughts are, why does everybody go straight to the negative? As soon as somebody does something, it's that person's a liar, that person's cheating, that person's a bad person. All of those things, straight away everyone goes straight for the negative. And I've learned this from my own personal experience in life, where someone's done something and in your mind you think they're trying to do you over, but you just haven't seen the full picture. You haven't seen why that person did the thing. And I'm sure all of you guys have experienced the same thing, where after you've accused somebody of something, it comes to light that there was a reason why it happened, or something you was missing, and then you afterwards think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have criticised that person. From my knowledge, we've never actually caught Jeff lying about something before, and so I think it's only logical to go to the positive, go to the 10 years of experience in the industry, go to all of the honesty, integrity that the guy showed over the last decade. I think that's the thing that people should go straight to. Although that doesn't get views on YouTube, that's why people won't just say, I actually think Jeff's probably got a different reason for why it happened. And I'm not actually defending Jeff, I'm just saying that's the only logical thing to do, is to go straight to what we know about the person in the past. As we said before, and I'd love Jeff to come out and make a statement just to see if he looks like he's been honest or not, and maybe that'll line up with something I'm going to say in a second. But I think this is more of a life lesson thing, like I was saying before. And just cast your mind back and think, has there ever been a time you really thought that someone was screwing you over in your mind? You was calling them all sorts of names, but then the truth come out and that person wasn't lying at all. And that's, to me, the life lesson to take from it. And most of us need to be more positive and more thinking that the best scenario, because from my experience, like I've said before, most of the time you're actually wrong, and that person, in general, generally speaking, people are good people, and to get to 10 million subscribers on YouTube, you don't usually get to that level. It's not impossible, but you don't usually get to that level of people liking you if you're a bad person. That's not me defending Jeff, because I don't know the full picture, just like everybody else doesn't understand the full picture. But one thing I would like you guys to consider is most people who are watching these videos don't actually make YouTube videos themselves. And if you're doing a workout plan and you've got 18 sets of chest per week in that plan, and you've got to film 3 videos that week because you've scheduled to film 3 videos, and in that video you have to do 3 sets of bicep curls or deadlifts or strenuous exercise that's difficult to do, you can't just film videos week in, week out using really heavy weight when you have your other training sessions. And I think people who don't do YouTube videos don't actually understand how taxing that can be, lifting your normal sessions and then lifting again to do videos. Another likely scenario is that maybe he was just tired. Also, Jeff is very lean, so it would be feasible that he would be tired being so lean. Another scenario is that Jeff had an injury, and on YouTube often you will schedule videos months in advance. I have videos ready for months in advance, and so what could have happened is he has that video scheduled, he knows he has to show the form, but because he has this injury, he then can't actually use the proper weight. Now, if that is the case, he definitely made the mistake of not saying, I have an injury, these are actually fake weights, this is just for demonstration purposes, and so then that puts me off that idea. But the reason sometimes I sway towards the idea that maybe he did have some sort of injury is because we have to think these videos where Jeff was caught using fake weights was from 2014 and 2015. That's over 5 and 6 years ago. So he hasn't used fake weights since then. We can see that in the videos that he's published since that point. So why would somebody use fake weights 6 years ago for a handful of videos, but then not use fake weights again since then? So it seems a bit suspicious to me that somebody would be trying to lie or cheat about how much weight they can lift. Jeff also, after all of this kicked off around a month after it was all found out and people exposed this scenario, he actually did do a deadlift and he lifted the amount of weight that he was supposed to be lifting in the video 5 years ago that he was told he was lying about. So it's not that Jeff can't lift that weight. It's not like he's saying, I can lift 450 pounds on the deadlift, but in reality he can only do 200 pounds on the deadlift. Jeff actually used fake weights in the video, but he can actually do that weight in real life as well. I just ask people to think about the past and what a person has done, and also you have to think about, you don't know what's going on in somebody else's head. You haven't thought, I can't think of every scenario that could have possibly happened. There'll be hundreds of scenarios that we've all missed out, and the point is that maybe Jeff was feeling the pressure of social media. He's got 10,000 plus subscribers. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of people he has to answer to. There's so many different factors, and I just think people should keep an open mind. Judging by the evidence, and like I said, Jeff's other 10 years of integrity and honesty, it's very unlikely that he was doing this to try and cheat people out of something or to lie. But that's still not impossible that maybe that's what he was doing. But I think we'd do much better giving him the benefit of the doubt. When we also consider lying and cheating, if you look at Jeff's videos over the last 10 years, he hardly ever promotes products like his supplement company or programs. In fact, most people don't even know that Jeff has or owns a supplement company because he never promotes it. And so I do think he is an honest guy. I don't think he's someone that's trying to sell things all the time like a lot of other big YouTubers are. They're always trying to sell some bullshit product or supplement that usually doesn't work, and you don't see Jeff doing that. The bottom line is, I'd like to see him come out, just make a 2-minute video, say the reason, the honest truth why he did it, and then move on. That's what I would like to see happen. But the reality actually is, does it matter? You don't have to like somebody to learn from them, and this is the problem with a lot of people, is if they don't like somebody's personality or they don't like something that somebody did, they're not open to learning from them. And so if you don't like Jeff because of this scenario, that still doesn't mean that 99% of his information isn't good information that you can learn from. And I think there's a lot of people being critical considering 99%, in my opinion, of coaches on YouTube have no business being a top coach at all.